Porter versus Crawford. What do you think about that fight?
I mean, I think it's a great fight for Crawford. Crawford is a very good tactical fighter. I think he'll just box Porter. Porter's one guy that's going to keep on rushing forward, you know, with his head down, throwing them looping hooks, and I just feel that Crawford is a good boxer and a good puncher. I think Crawford wins that all day long.
Who wins, Porter or Crawford? I think Porter gives everyone a tough fight, but I think Crawford has too many tools. I think Crawford is going to win that fight. It's going to be a competitive fight, but I think Crawford wins.
Crawford, Porter. How do you see that fight? Do you agree that Porter's as big an underdog as the books have it?
I don't know. I don't even look at the books, but I'll tell you what. If Crawford hadn't shown me what he did against Horn, I'd really have a lot of questions of whether he can handle Porter's style. Like I'd say, man, you know, this is a physical guy, like a rougher guy than you might be accustomed to seeing. But the way Crawford handled Jeff Horn, to me, was impressive, because that was a physically breakdown kind of guy. He breaks you down physically, just roughs you up. So what he did to Pacquiao, you know, and just roughs you up and just
that was
makes
a close fight. People try to say it was just a robbery, but Horn, that was close.
No, I don't think it was a robbery. I thought Horn won the fight, but I mean, I thought Horn won the fight. It's funny, that fight particularly, I watched it in a bar with no volume, so I didn't even know what the commentators were saying. And I remember everybody around me thinking Horn won the fight after the fight was over. Like, with no volume and no commentators in a bar, I didn't even know there was a whole. I didn't even know there was a whole scandal until like later in the night or the next day, you know, when it was like, I was like, wow, really? That's the way they were talking about the fight, you know? But Horn has the kind of style. It really makes it really ugly. And I thought he would, you know, Crawford as a former lightweight would be troubled by such a big physical guy, you know, and would purposely make the fight physical. But man, I was surprised that Crawford handled him so easily. So, and having seen that, it's something that you can't help but to think about Porter. Porter probably, I'd say he's better than Horn. He's a better fighter than Horn,
for
right?
sure.
But not necessarily for sure. I mean, Horn's underratedly good. Horn was underratedly good. He just ran into Crawford. But Horn was a pretty good fighter. Horn was beating good fighters like in his first 10, 15 fights. You know, I mean, he was fighting Randall Bailey. He was taking on, you know, guys who were sharp, but guys that also you don't take on that easily, you know. So Horn was good, I think. But I think Porter, you know, massive amateur pedigree, a lot of experience in the pros already, but he's a smaller guy than Horn. Maybe he's better, but he's smaller. So if a physical style of Horn didn't bother Crawford, is a physical style of Porter going to be that much of a bother to Crawford? And that's where I try to make the comparisons and try to, you know, think about the fight in that way. So for me, if I take that into account, I'd probably go with Crawford. You know, I can't. You know, and I can understand why everybody would pick Crawford, because the way I just broke it down, I say, you know what else can Porter do besides be very physical? Can he box with Crawford?
He's got good feet.
It's very difficult to box.
In and out, keep him off balance.
Yeah.
I'm trying here.
Yeah. I mean, it's just a lot of arguments to be said, you know. And Porter does have a little bit of a weird rhythm that, you know, sometimes makes him hard to come in, but makes him hard to time. But you know, we'll see.
Where'd he stack among all the great fighters you fought, Paulie?
Porter, a very good fighter.
Porter,
very good fighter.
Top 3-ish, top 5.
I'm not gonna
put a number on it.
No. But he was rough to deal with, a rough guy to deal with. You know, it sometimes it doesn't feel like a boxing match when you're a Porter. You know, it's rough. You know, like, so it can be a little bit debilitating. But Crawford seems like he's growing well into the welterweight division. He's not that small. You know, I think, like I said, what he showed me with Horn, that he's able to deal with the physicality of a bigger guy like that. For me, that really kind of makes me question if Porter can be only physical. Porter's gonna have to bring a lot more than just be physical.
That counter punching gonna be a problem.
Yeah. And you know, Crawford goes to the body well, he goes to the head well, you know, he mixes up well, he fights out of both stances. It's a tough fight. We'll see. It's a good fight. I mean, Porter is certainly deserving of the fight. It's not like we're talking about this fight and we're saying, oh, well, who else can Crawford fight? You know, he should have fought this guy or that guy. No. I think the Crawford and Porter fight is a very good fight to make. I just think Crawford's right now he's too good.
Do you think Shawn Porter is going to be able to kind of perform the way that you did and actually bring?
I feel like I feel like I gave a good fight. There's a lot of watching video. There's a lot of things I should have changed that I could have done better. But I mean, it's easier to see outside than do. But I mean, I learned from that loss. And it just made me a smarter fighter. It made me realize what I did wrong. And I've actually sparred Shawn Porter before too. I feel like Crawford, Crawford's gonna beat him. He's a smart guy, He knows what he's doing. So I feel like there's not too much that Shawn Porter can do. All he does is just pretty much swing crazy punches and try to rough you up. But Crawford can move, he can box, and I feel like Crawford will take that one.
Do you think he can stop him? Seeing a lot of people have the narrative Shawn can't be stopped or hasn't been stopped.
I feel like if you catch him with the right punches, you'll stop him.
How do you see that fight going, Crawford and Porter?
That's a good fight. I think it's 50-50. If Shawn Porter do what he's supposed to do, and that's coming forward, but he got to do it smart. If you do it smart, it's going to be a great fight, and may the best man win.
Because coming forward, one thing, but Terence with his counter punches, so you feel like he's got to take an angle with it? What do you
he can't just go straight in and be like a crash dummy. He got to be smart, use angles, dart in and out, side to side. Can't be like a stationary target. That's the only way he's going to be able to, that's the way he's going to be able to win or have a great shot. He can't try to box. I don't think he should box. I think he should go straight forward and do damage.
Later this month, obviously, is the Crawford-Porter fight. How do you see that transpiring?
I think that Porter's gonna do what he does best, and he's gonna try to rough him up. He's gonna try to get him out of his element. So I think it's gonna be a pretty good 5-6 rounds, and I think Crawford's gonna start getting his rhythm. I think that's one way it could play out. Crawford's gonna win in both of these ways I'm about to say, or I think Crawford catches him coming in early.
Really?
Yeah, because Porter is so focused on his offense a lot of the time. He just comes rushing in. I think he might run into a punch.
And Porter has a world title match, and Crawford will have the biggest challenge of his boxing career, And we all know that some would argue against that, considering he beat Kell Brook, considering other things. But I think where Shawn Porter is in his career today is superior to where Kell Brook is at the time that he fought Crawford. So only due to that, I would say that it still is one of the most challenging fights of Bud Crawford's career. We've never seen Shawn Porter get stopped. If Bud Crawford was to stop Shawn Porter, he'd be making a big statement in the welterweight division. So it's a fight that a lot of people would be interested in watching.